Rosemary is one of the strongest support pilots in the game. Through her talent, she continuously builds intelligence stack that increase the damage on every friendly unit on your team. And funny, no matter where they are on the map. On top of that, her Unicode skill provides incredible flexibility. Depending on situation, you can increase your team's overall damage, grant extra mobility for faster clears, or heavily buff a single carry to maximize burst damage. The best part is that she doesn't rely on her signature ST to do her job. Even with standard medium ST, she is already amazing support that fits into almost any team. If you are looking for one of the most future-proof support pilots in the game, I highly recommend picking up at least A0 Rosemary. Rosemary introduced one of the strongest support mechanics in the game. Whenever she hits enemies with her rocket launcher, she gains intelligence stacks for every target, up to maximum of 25 stacks. Each stack increases the damage of all allied units by 0.8, giving your entire team up to 20% damage boost. And here is the best part, this bonus applies to every ally no matter where they are on the map. Positioning doesn't matter, making Rosemary one of the easiest support pilots to fit into almost any team. One important thing to know is that these stacks doesn't appear as a normal buff icons, since they are part of her talents rather than traditional buff. They don't count toward buff related effects, such as accessories that require a certain number of active buffs to trigger, example Prevail. Her talent also reduces the weight of rocket launcher, allowing her to equip 2 heavy rocket launchers without any issues. Her A3 talent is fantastic quality of life upgrade. When Rosemary is deployed, she immediately starts with the battle with 10 intelligence stacks. Skill 1 Unique Code skill. It gives you 3 different support options depending on what your team needs. Option 1 2 AP. Targets a single ally and grants powerful final damage buff, but until that unit finish its action. It's excellent choice when you want to maximize damage of one main carry. And Rosemary also gains 2 intelligence stacks. Option 2 3 AP. Grants +1 mobility to all allies and give Rosemary 3 intelligence stacks. This is mostly useful for rushing stages, reaching objective faster, or potentially in PvP where extra movements can make a big difference. Option 3 4 AP. This is the option you probably use most often. It increases the damage of all friendly units by 25% during their next action, while also giving Rosemary 4 intelligence stacks. Buff disappears once each ally finishes their action, but here is the important part. It belongs to different damage category than effect like weapon accessories or Blazer ST. That means these buff stacks together, instead of replacing one another, allowing your team to reach even higher damage. Skill 2 Option 1. This is main AoE attack. It has huge area, deals respectable AoE damage, and it's one of the fastest ways to build intelligence stacks by hitting multiple enemies at once. On top of that, it grants random buffs to friendly units for 2 turns. Considering its only cost 4 AP, it's excellent all-around skill that fits almost every situation. Skill 2 Option 2. This skill is much more optional. If you want to push your team critical rate close to or even all the way to 100%, this is skill to bring. It costs 6 AP, so it's fairly expensive, and realistically only A5 Rosemary can constantly use on turn 1. For every enemy hit, all allies gain 50% critical rate up to 5 stacks. hit 5 enemies, and that's incredible 75% critical rate for your entire team. The downside is that these stacks are consumed after each unit first attack, so the effect only lasts for a single hit. That's why I consider this as a niche option rather than Rosemary default choice. For the third skill slot, we have few options. Option 1. This passive works well on the maps with a lot of enemies. Whenever allies are inside the AoE range, they receive additional random buff. The only limitation is that allies must be inside the attack area. Because of that, it pairs perfectly with her skill 2 option 1. That large AoE makes it much easier to hit enemies while also covering your teammates with the extra buffs. Option 2. If you aren't using Rosemary Signature ST or Pascal Body, bringing the reload skill is a solid alternative. It helps maintain your ammo economy, while also granting 2 additional stacks. Option 3. This is probably the best option for players without A3 Rosemary. Normally, she loses 1 stack at the start of every turn. And if you unlock Neuro Drives, that will be 2 stacks. This passive prevents stack consumption whenever she has less than 10 intelligence stacks, making it much easier to build and maintain her support during the early turns of battle. Rosemary's signature weapon is fantastic quality of life upgrade. Normally, she can build up to 25 stacks. With Neuro Drives unlocked, that's 35, but her signature weapon increases that limit by 5, and also grants those extra 5 stacks at the start of the battle. Combine it with her A3 talent, Neuro Drives and signature weapon. She can start the battle with 20 stacks. Thanks to this passive, if she have a 15 or more stacks, she recover 1 AP after combat. This is huge benefit. She wants enough AP to fire her rocket launcher while also using her unique code skill. So any extra AP recovery make her rotation much smoother. The weapon also increases own critical rate based on her stacks. Keep in mind, this bonus only applies to Rosemary herself. It doesn't affect the rest of the team. On top of that, it comes with 2 excellent universal passive. The only downside is that her signature weapon is from Arm Conquest number 16, so we have to wait a while before getting it. Arbiter ST. It provides up to 35 additional damage, as long as you have at least 4 ammo remaining. Since rocket and missile pilots usually carry plenty of ammunition, reaching the maximum bonus is very easy. The rainbow effect grants up to 80% additional damage while using code skills. Then at maximum level, hitting 3 or more enemies with tactical weapon reloads 1 ammo, which is nice quality of life bonus for AoE focused pilots. So is Arbiter ST actually worth pulling? Personally, I would say not really. It's not because the ST is weak, it simply isn't necessary for Rosemary. Rosemary's job is to support the team, not deal massive damage. Her buffs work perfectly fine without her signature ST, so there is no need to spend valuable resources just to improve her personal damage. Instead, I would simply share Malthus ST between Rosemary and Eileen if you already have one. That being said, the 4-piece Arbiter set is actually excellent for Arthur. If you use Arthur often, it's definitely worth farming later through dispatch mission and converting into modules. For Rosemary though, I would rather save those ST draws. Skipping Arbiter ST won't make Rosemary any worse at doing what she does best, which is supporting your entire team. For weapons, your long-term goal is obviously Rosemary's signature weapon from Arm Conquest number 16. Until then, her best setup is simply 2 copies of Eileen's signature weapon. As for STs, if you are planning to skip Arbiter, which I personally recommend, just use Malthus ST instead. Since she doesn't rely on her signature ST to perform her support role, Malthus ST is more than enough. Module recommendation. Rosemary is very AP hungry if you want to build her intelligence stacks as quickly as possible. The fastest way to maximize her support is by constantly firing her rocket launcher, while using her code skills. That's exactly why Thanatos is her best in-slot module. The extra 1 AP recovery each turn makes her rotation much smoother and helps her reach maximum stacks much faster. If you don't have Thanatos, you can simply use general damage modules such as the Malthus, Igniter or Arcus. Accessories recommendation. Neural Drive overview. The good news is that she is much cheaper to build than most DPS pilots. If you are short on bionic oils, I would recommend investing 3 bionic oils. That's let you unlock 1 CP in Sector 1 and 16 CP in Sector 2, giving you all of her most important upgrades. 1 CP. Start the battle with 5 additional stacks, helping her support the team much sooner. 7 CP. The standard passive for tacticians. 10 CP. Normally, each intelligence stack increases your team's damage by 0.8%. This upgrade boosts that bonus to 1.2, increasing Rosemary team support. The trade-off is that she will consume 2 stacks at the start of each turn instead of 1. 13 CP. If Rosemary has 20 or more intelligence stacks, she recovers 1 additional AP. And 16 CP. This is the most important upgrade and definitely worth unlocking. It increases maximum stacks from 25 to 35. A full 35 stacks now provide your entire team with the massive 42% damage increase. Later, once you obtain her signature weapon, Rosemary can reach 40 stacks, pushing that team-wide damage bonus all the way up to 48%. And remember, this buff applies to every ally on the battlefield, regardless of their position. Final thoughts. I strongly recommend picking up at least A0 Rosemary. If you can afford A3, it's excellent quality of life upgrade that lets her ramp up much faster. But A0 is already enough for her to perform her role extremely well. Rosemary has remained Tier 0 support on CN server for a long time, and she is just available on global. One of her biggest strengths is that she doesn't rely on her signature ST to shine. She provides incredible team-wide support right out of the box, making her one of the easiest future-proof pilots to recommend. My personal plan is to get her to A3 eventually, even if not immediately on release. I'll also be skipping the Arbiter ST and saving those draws for future signature ST like Adele and Ada. Overall, Rosemary is amazing investments that will fit into almost any team for a very long time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.